Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our Pinterest picks episodes, and what I thought we could do today is make some of these super cute little book spine bookmarks. As you can see, I've printed off this picture, so this is where my inspiration has come from. These ones are super simple and, you know, very, very pretty, but I thought we could kind of hopefully try and make some slightly more decorative ones, but we'll see. So what I brought along is a couple of different spines from books, and obviously I've got one in kind of all different colours, so that, you know, we can really hopefully get some or achieve some different looks. And then I've got, I mean, this is just the back of like some cards that, you know, I had made once and, you know, kind of never used. So I thought what I would do is back my book spines onto these cards, and that will give it a little bit more sort of stability to use. Then I may stitch around them. We'll kind of see really how it goes. I haven't got a particular, you know, plan in mind, and, you know, this is the first time that I have done this project myself. So we'll have a look and see how it goes. Now, when you look at the underneath of a spine, if you take the spines out, you've got this sort of, well, it might be leather or, you know, some sort of fabric or linen or something like that. And then it's normally stuck onto some sort of thicker, like, card, I suppose. So it's up to you, really. You can either go with it with the card in, you know, in its place, or you can try and peel it off. It will depend really how well stuck it is. I mean, as you can see, this one's kind of peeling off okay. And as I say that, it then stops wanting to come off. But I mean, it's peeling off not too bad. And then you've got a much more sort of flexible piece to actually work with. Whereas when that card is still in there, depending, I mean, that one's not too bad actually, that example. But this one, it's making it slightly more curly. So it's going to be slightly more difficult to stick it down onto card, keeping it flat. So, you know, up to you really how you do it, but it might depend on just whether or not you can peel that backing off very easily. So all I'm going to do in the first instance is just glue this bookmark or book spine, sorry, piece down onto this card. Now, obviously as well, you're going to probably have a section where it's been folded over for the, you know, for the card of the spine. So in this instance, I'm just going to trim that off like that. Okay, and I'm going to kind of place it here so as I know roughly where to glue down to, because this is actually, let me just raise the camera a bit. This is actually longer than my A4 page width, if you see what I mean. So all I'm going to do is fabric-tack that down onto the card. I mean, to be honest, I probably could get a bit more of this card up if I actually tried. Like I say, I mean, it just will depend. Some will come up easier than others, I suspect. So up to you really how you do them. And then I'm just going to glue all around the edges of the, you know, the book spine. And then obviously all the way across over here as well. Like that. Okay, oops, and then we're going to just take that down and just place that onto that piece of card. Whoops, sorry, flicking everything all over as I picked up my wipe. Now this has got something stuck on it. You know, I don't know whether I got something stuck on it or whether that's how it was when I bought it. I mean, obviously it's quite an old book, so it could have already been on that spine. But again, you know, I'm not really too worried. So that's that one. And let's do this red one. Now, as you can see, this has definitely seen better days. It's very, very fragile. So I'm going to try and peel off the, the layer of paper or card, or, you know, I mean, some will be card and some, I guess, will be more like paper. So we'll just peel all of that off. Like that. As I say, I mean, I possibly could do a better job of this, but, you know, it's probably fine, to be honest. You know, not to have to get every single piece off. Now, again, I've got that folded over piece, which actually, as you can see, I mean, this is super brittle, so that just kind of broke off. And obviously it's in 2 pieces, so I'm going to try and obviously stick it together, joining it again, if you see what I mean. So let me see if I can get any more of this card or paper off. I don't think I'm going to get any more of that off. So again, I'm just going to layer this onto the piece of card. So just get any last little bits off that I can. And then we're just going to go in again with the Fabri-Tac. And I mean, you could probably use other glue. I'm obviously using Fabri-Tac because this is, you know, the outside covering of a book. It's more like fabric, isn't it? So I just thought perhaps it needed something a little bit extra. But I mean, you could probably use, you know, your tacky glue and things like that, to be honest. I mean, probably just any wet glue. I wouldn't necessarily use a glue stick for this. But, you know, I haven't tried it, so it may, you know, it may be that a glue stick would be okay. So I'm just going to stick that one down like that. And obviously, as you can see, I mean, oh gosh, got glue on there already. That's not a good start, is it? So just trying to kind of disguise where that book spine had, you know, split. So just kind of stick it down there. Okay, so that's that one. Okie dokie. Like that. So I'll just move these couple to the side and we'll just glue the other ones on. And then we can come back to them, trim them down and see, you know, see what we're going to do with them. So again, this one, it's, you know, it's a massive book spine. It was obviously from a much bigger book than sort of A4 size. It was more like a coffee table book. So again, just peeling this out. I mean, actually, to be fair, the one that came off easiest was in fact the first one. The others haven't come off so well. And again, I'm sure that possibly, you know, lots of you have fantastic techniques for doing this. You know, maybe you could steam them off with a kettle or something like that. I don't know. You know, I haven't really tried. So, but you know, this method works fine too. So if you're a bit like me and can't be bothered to actually go down to the kettle and spend time trying to get it off properly, then, you know, this method will do absolutely fine anyway. So this one, obviously, you know, as I say, it is quite long. So obviously the title of the book is here. So I may want to move it up slightly so that that's actually a little bit higher. So I'm going to just trim this down here like that. Okay, and then again, I'm just going to put it here so I've got a guide of where roughly to put my glue. And then we're just going to glue this one down. Oops. Yeah, it's nice having different coloured ones. It was just lucky really that it turned out that, you know, I had quite a lot of, or, you know, four different types of coloured books that I could take the spines from. So, okay. So we just then pop this one down here. Let's push that a bit over to the edge. I love this colour of this green one with the gold. It looks really, really nice, doesn't it? Okay. That's that one. And then this one here, again, it's got that sort of folded over piece, which actually just, you know, tore off, and then can just, again, peel off this. In this instance, this is more like card, but I mean, some of them seemed more like paper, but that could just be where they're older. And so, you know, it's kind of disintegrated and gone more like paper. I'm no expert, so yeah, I don't really know, but I just think, you know, you probably want to get rid of it because it's going to make it easier to glue it down flat. But again, you know, play around and you may find that it will glue flat anyway. Okay, so this up here is pretty well stuck and doesn't seem to want to, you know, it's not lifting anywhere at the edge where I can actually get to it to peel it off. So again, you know, if you have that, you may want to try, you know, at the kettle or something like that. I'm not going to bother. So again, I'm just going to glue that down. Now, obviously this one's pretty skinny. You know, it wasn't a very thick book. So I might want to actually kind of keep some, what do you call it? Edging around this, you know, a piece of edging. Or I could, I've only just thought of this, I could put some lace or something underneath it so that it's actually kind of got a bit more decorative interest going on. So perhaps I will try that. So let me grab some suitable lace. Okay, so after all that, I did come back to this original lace anyway. But what I'm going to do is just glue this down here. So let me just get rid of all the bits of book that have kind of gone on here. Okay. And oops, make sure that lace is up the right way. I know I always say this, but I'm never too sure which is the right way and wrong way. You can't necessarily see very clearly when the light's a bit funny. Okay, so I'm going to just pop that one down there, and then we're just going to glue this down on the top. Again, you know, this is not straight. It's got a kind of what do you call it, like a skinny shape, you know, going to it, where I haven't quite torn it out neatly enough. You know, that doesn't really worry me. I'm hoping it's just going to look super pretty anyway. But I mean, obviously you may want to kind of go for a bit more of a tidy look. The others I'm going to play around with. I might have some with kind of lots of threads and things. I might have some a little bit neater. We'll just kind of see how, you know, how we like them best, really. So this one here, I'm going to obviously trim down so it's not going to be that full width. Okay, just press that one down. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this now to one side whilst I bring the other one back. So we'll just move that out of the way and just bring the other one back in. Okay, let's get rid of this. And then we're just going to chop these down. So this one here, I'm just going to trim it in just slightly, like that. So again, this one's not the widest, I have to say. It's okay. It's just not as wide as, you know, the blue one, I suppose. So I'm going to chop the end off. And then the blue one, I'm just going to chop that down like that. Okay. And then a little bit from this side. Like that. And then obviously just a little bit at the bottom. So that's those two, and then the other one, or the other two, just bring them back in. So I'm going to chop down this one. Now I'm just wondering how best to do this. So I want to kind of keep the lace out the way so that I don't trim the lace down probably. So let's just cut that about here. Oops. Oh, I'm going to make a horrible job of this, I can just tell. Okay, and we're just going to chop it down a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut it down. I guess we could do the same there where we kind of have a bit of lace overhanging. So I'll just bring that down like that. Okay, and then we just chop that down at the end across there. Okie dokie, get rid of this bit into the bin, get rid of that lace. So, I mean, actually that lace is now overhanging way too much on that side. So I'm going to cut the lace down slightly because otherwise it's kind of like off balance, but okay. So just bringing it in a little bit. Okay. And then the final one is obviously this green one. So again, I'm just going to chop it down here. And then chop it down here. Okay. Just go across there as well. Okie dokie. So, I mean, actually, I have to say, I absolutely love how they look already, you know, without even anything else going on them. I think they look really, 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 really nice. And I mean, they're just the book spine, really. But what I'm going to do, I think, is stitch around. So I'm going to stitch around this one for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go and see at the sewing machine. So I'll take you over there. Okay, so I'm at the sewing machine now. So let's start with this one because I definitely want to stitch this one down. I'm just using kind of white thread. Could have used black. The thing is, black's not really going to show up on this at all because obviously it's a black bookmark. I'm just standing up to just check that it's, you know, it's okay and it's in view. So I'm going to just stitch along this and I'm just going to increase the stitch slightly. So we'll just go down there. Obviously this is not very straight, so I just need to kind of go over slightly like that, and then across the bottom, and then up here like that. Okay, and then we just come, oops, I think I've gone too far. Just come across the top like that and just back down again. Okay, so that's the first bookmark, which, you know, I quite like that. I think that looks quite nice with the stitching. So I might stitch around, let's just have a look. Oh, it's a tough decision, this is. Might stitch around the red one. Yeah, I'm not going to do the green one, definitely. But let's do the red one. So just go right the way around. There, and then, okay, and then back down. Okay, so I'll do two stitched and two not stitched. So let's go back over across to my desk. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine and I've got a couple of little scrappy bits that I have torn off of, you know, some old tags and things like that that I had made. So I've got these ones, which isn't this just the most gorgeous lace, and I'm just going to trim off my threads a little bit, and I thought I could just pop this lace across here. Now, just having a look, the thing is, on these, as you can see, they had eyelets, you know, for the kind of top of the bookmark. So I guess if I want to do that, I need to just bear that in mind a little bit, you know, where I'm going to actually have the eyelet. So, or I could just have it, I guess, like that. But I mean, ideally, you want to have something overhanging it so that it's, you know, poking out of the book, isn't it? Right, let me get my crocodile. So if I were to put an eyelet in here, let's have a look. I guess I could have it sort of lowish, maybe like that. So you pop that in there, and then if I just grab one of my eyelets here. Oh, I've got a black one actually, that might be better, so let's try that. I'm just going to pop that black one in there, which looks quite good, doesn't it? And then fingers crossed. Okay. Yeah, and then I can still have that little bit of lace going across there, just about. I have to have it to the side slightly, so let me just check whether this piece is better. No, no, they're both cut kind of pretty much the same, but that's fine. So if I just have it trimmed down slightly, so we'll take this one, just going to trim it down a bit like that, and then I can just pop that in there, and I can just fabric tack this one on. Okay. Like that. That can just stick on there, like that. And then shall I have another piece going down the bottom? It's quite nice, isn't it? Don't know whether it really needs a piece at the bottom, funnily enough. I quite like it without, which is, you know, unusual, let's face it, for me to prefer it without another piece, but let's try a little flower or something. Well, we could have a little flower on there, that looks sweet, doesn't it? Just trim off those little pieces from that flower trim. We'll just ink that up a little bit, because this lace is actually a bit, you know, a bit inked up, so just to keep it in the same sort of vintagey appearance. Oops. We'll just glue that down. Again, we'll just then okie dokie. Pop that down like that. Oops. Okay, and then obviously we just need some black ribbon, which I've got some here, but I'm not sure whether this is quite. Oh, it's got a bit on it, you know, where it's pulled the thread. So let me just see what other black ribbon I've got. I've got some thick black ribbon, but that's not quite right. So let me just delve into my ribbon drawer where I'm sure that I've got some thin black ribbon that I can use. So hold on. Okay. So I've got here just some black ribbon, and this is just from you know, when you get clothes and you've got those shoulder holders. No, they're not called that. Well, they might be called that. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, it's just from those. Oh gosh, come on. Poke that through. And, you know, you could then just dot a little bit of glue on there to just hold that knotted. Not knotted, it's not knotted, but you know what I mean. To stop it from moving, like that. Okay, so that's bookmark number 1. Super pretty, isn't it? So love how that one looks. Right, number 2 is obviously the red one. So let's have a look and see what we're going to do with the red one. Got no plan. So we'll just see how it turns out. I'm just going to ink the back of this because this one was on ivory card. This was on the white card. So I'm just going to, you know, distress ink it a little bit. So it's just got a bit more about it than just plain white. Okay, and just going to ink around it as well. I mean, it is kind of discoloured, this one, because, you know, I mean, obviously these are vintage book spines, so none of them are, you know, in fantastic condition or anything like that. But I'm also just kind of covering up where the thread is, because obviously it was white thread that I used. So, you know, that's kind of the purpose for that one. I did wonder actually whether you could put a little tiny cluster or something on these. I mean, preferably a flattish one, because of course, you know, these are essentially going to be bookmarks, so you don't really want them kind of bulking out your book too much or anything. But, you know, you could definitely, I'm sure, have a small cluster. So if I just pull in this flower, you know, we could maybe have, oh, I'm not sure that looks so good, to be honest. Let me just have a look and see what else I've got laying about. So I've got some of this. I think this was just from an old top, which maybe I received in Happy Mail. So, I mean, you could have something like that on there. That's quite pretty. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry about that. That was just my son saying something. Right, so for the red one, what I thought we could do is I wondered about these ticket clusters that we made previously, that I've done in a previous video quite a while back. But I wonder whether this was a little bit too big for the bookmarks. So I've got some tickets here that I've printed in much smaller size, and I've got some obviously tiny flowers, and I mean obviously not tiny stamps, but you know, some vintage postage stamps. And so what I thought we could do is just make a very similar sort of cluster, but in a smaller size. So something like that. I just need to get a little bit of lace to go on there as well. Oops, like that, and got that down. And we'll just put that like that. And I mean, obviously I just stapled those together, so I'm just going to grab my stapler, which is just in my bag beside me. Okay, oh my gosh, come on. So I'm just going to staple this together like that. Okay, and I'm just going to then ink that entire cluster. I mean, that flower's a little bit covered up now by the postage stamp, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not too bad. So I'm just going to ink around, you know, including the lace as well. So that's a bit more grungy kind of looking. And just get in there a bit as well. Okay. And then I'm just going to stick that onto that bookmark. So I'm just going to hot glue this down. So hot glue all around and just pick that up like that. Just pop that down like that. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of extra help here, like that. And I mean, obviously this worked out perfectly because it's just covered up where I had that, you know, where the spine was kind of split in two. So it's just covered up that, which is, you know, awesome. And then I'm just going to put a little eyelet in the top, like that. Let's see what colour eyelets I've got here. Well, I guess we could have a goldy colour one. I could do with some more eyelets, I think, in different colours, or could do with perhaps doing my patina with the eyelets. So perhaps I should do that. Okay, let's put those out the way. I'll just go with a gold one like that. Okay. Squash that in. Okay, and then again, you know, we could have some lace across that top piece or not really. So can't decide whether it needs a little bit. Yeah, I think the lace does look quite pretty. So I think we'll just pop a little tiny bit of lace across there. Oops. Come on. Oops, I think it's got a bit of a blob at the end. Okay, just glue that down like that, and we just snip that off here at the edge. Oops. And then again, just want to get some ribbon. So I'm not sure what colour is going to be good on this one. Oh, I've got some of this brown, which might look quite good on there. Yeah, I think that might look quite nice on that one. Just checking. Yeah, let's go for that. So, I mean, obviously this is quite thick, so fingers crossed. I got this lovely ribbon in Happy Mail. It's very pretty. It's got a kind of gold thread running through it. So, yeah, it's very pretty. I'm hoping that this will work. It might be a bit too thick, but let's give it a try. Give it a try and see how it goes. Oops. Oh, it's so thick I can't actually even get it through, so that's not a good start, is it? Okay. Oops. And just trying to be careful I'm not actually pulling the eyelet. Just snip that off here. A minute. Oh, I love that ribbon. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Really, really, really pretty, I must say. So, okay. So it's a little bit tricky to pull this thick ribbon, to be honest. So you just need to be a little bit careful because I'm inclined to, you know, really tug at it and then I would actually tear my bookmark. But again, what I can do now is just pop some hot glue there and then just, you know, go in and that will hold that closed. You know, hold it glued rather than keep coming apart. So that's that one. Again, just go in and snip that down. 1, 2. There we go. So love that one. Really, really pretty, isn't it? Okay, right. 2 down, 2 to go. So let's try and do the other 2. So let's bring these in. So again, I might as well just do my eyelets right now, or, you know, my holes right now. Unfortunately, this one's going to have to go through the word the, and this one probably will have to go through that word a, but it can't be helped, unfortunately. And then we'll just put an eyelet in there. So I'm thinking just a gold one, probably a gold one in both, or in each. Oh, that one's stuck together. That's very annoying. Okay. There we go, gold one for that one, and oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, and a gold one there. Right, let's put those back. Oops, put them back or drop them all over the desk, one or the other. Oh dear, very fiddly. Okay, so that's those, and I'm just going to then obviously, you know, clamp those in place. So the first one there, and then this one. Like that. Okay, right. Again, I'm going to ink the back of this because it's just on the white card. The other one again was on the ivory, so, you know, it doesn't particularly need inking, but I suppose I could. So let's just ink around there. Doesn't need too much. And then this one here. I'm just doing it with vintage photo, but I mean, I guess could have, you know, really done it with blue to pick up the blue from the, you know, the book spine on the other side. Okay, right. Now, don't know what to decorate these two with. So again, let's just kind of have a look and see what we've got here. I've got this cute bow that actually I'd had that on a tag, and yeah, it's, you know, I pulled it off the tag because the tag, you know, I wasn't likely to use anymore. But I mean, that's actually really quite pretty on here. So I could have something like that. Maybe, that looks a bit strange coming out from there, doesn't it? Let's have a look. I mean, that's quite pretty, to be honest, having a kind of half lace type piece. Not quite sure about that, you know, the centre of that bow, to be honest. I could swap it out, but I'm wondering whether I would actually pull the bow apart, because I'm suspecting that that's actually what's holding it together. Let's see. Oops, come apart, come on. Oh, no, it's not going to work. So, well, let's take it apart in two halves. So we've got one and then two. This is where it's not going to go according to plan at all, and I'll have to start from scratch. But I mean, that's quite pretty, isn't it? And then wonder how we could have the middle. Oh no, not like that. That looked strange. Wonder if we could have either a button in the middle. That's quite pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like how that looks. So I might just put a little bit of lace going across there. Okie dokie. Like that. And we'll just chop that down either side so as it's, you know, not overhanging the bookmark like it is at the moment. So just chop that down. And then bring that bow back in. So let's just glue that down. I'm just going to hot glue this down because that's just nice and quick. So that one there. And then the other one. Now, let me just see. I mean, I do quite like that button, to be honest. I think that's quite sweet. Probably needs to go that way up, actually. Okay, right. So let's glue this one down. Okay, so that's that one. And then we'll just glue that button in the centre. Like that. So, I mean, although that's kind of raised, it's pretty flat. If I just show you from the side, it's not really sticking out too much. It's not going to kind of affect, you know, the page too much or anything. So, yeah, I think you can get away with, you know, reasonably flattish embellishments. Do you have a little fabric piece? No, I don't think we want that. Do we want anything else? That's the question. Just wondering whether we wanted a little bit of lace going across the top like we did on the others. Let's have a look. I mean, the lace does kind of finish them off. I'm not sure I want that one because actually, you know, what a waste. It's, you know, really thick, that lace, and obviously I only want a tiny piece. So I'm just having a quick look in my little bag that's beside my desk to see if I've got any kind of just slim offcuts of lace here. Aha. Always got something lingering around in my box. So this one, obviously, as you can see, this has kind of been inked. So as that's kind of set a precedence, I will go over and actually ink this as well, I think. So we just then, and to be fair, this bow has also been inked. So I will kind of distress this lace as well, and then hopefully it's going to look, you know, more matching, more coordinated than it currently does. So we've got that, and then let's just ink up our lace here. That's it. Oh, that looks lovely. Absolutely lovely. And strangely, I don't know whether I would have bothered inking that lace had I not gone for that other piece, but doesn't it just look lovely now with that inked effect? And again, I wonder whether we could have that same ribbon again, because I loved how it looked on that red one. So again, just thread that through. And, you know, I mean, these are fantastic to, you know, obviously, use your spines up. And also, you know, another great use for ribbons. So, yeah, really, really neat way to utilise some, you know, spines and some ribbons. So there we go. That looks pretty, doesn't it? And I'm just going to, again, pop some glue just under there. We'll just hold that all in place, you know, so it's not coming undone. Because, I mean, obviously these are not knots. You know, they're just those little thready through things. So, of course, you know, they're not going to stay firmly closed if you don't sort of add some glue to them. So, you know, I think the glue, you will probably need a little dash of glue. So that's that one. Okay, right, we're on the home stretch now. We're on the last one. So I've just got this blue one. I've got a little bit coming up here, so I'm just going to go in and just ink that a bit. So as if it does come up, it doesn't look really white for a start. And I'm just going to glue that down a tiny bit. When the glue decides to come down. Okay. Now I have got a little fabric piece here, which I'm thinking might look quite cute. So again, I'm just going to ink this up like that. And then what we could do is just pop that on some lace. I've got a tiny offcut here, so okay, let's just cut around there. Don't want to cut it really in a sort of shape as such, just kind of like a snipped piece of lace like that. And I'm just going to ink that lace again so it's darker and, you know, blends in better. So like that. Okay. And I mean, this little piece here, it's just a little fabric embellishment that I had made obviously a long time ago, but obviously it kind of drew my eye because it's got that little bit of blue on there, which obviously just kind of ties in quite nicely with this blue of the bookmark. So yeah, I quite like how that is. So let's just glue that down like that, and then just glue the piece down there. Okay. And then, what did I do with the rest of that lace? Okay. Could just have, you know, a bit more of that same lace up here. Again, just trying to see which is the best way to put this. I mean, I'm trying to be frugal with this lace, which, I mean, how ridiculous, because as if I need to be frugal with this little scrap of lace. I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Okay. So I'm just going to put that down here. It's, you know, all over the place. It's not kind of any, you know, it's not a straight piece or anything like that. But I'm going to glue it on, and then I'm going to trim it, obviously, around here. So, like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim it down like that. I can trim it down a little bit at the edges as well. Okay. So, I mean, to be honest, it looks so pretty, just exactly as it is. You know, I don't even think it really needs anything else, but I mean, we could have a bit of bling. The only thing is, if I just show you from the side, you know, we've got then the lace, the piece, the bling, you know, I guess it's all adding a little bit extra bulk, which, you know, perhaps isn't the best thing for the bookmark. So let's just have a look and see what else I've got. I mean, again, I've got those flowers. The only thing is the flower actually quite big compared to the picture? Well, it's not too bad, to be honest. I can't see which way is the right way on this flower, to be honest. It's very difficult to see. I think probably that way, actually. I'm not too sure with this one. The others all kind of came together instantly, and this one seems a little bit more tricky to, you know, pull it together and kind of get it kind of how I would like it to work. Let's see what else I've got. Just having a look to see if I've got anything else kind of just laying around that's just screaming that it would work brilliantly. Can't see anything really so far. I mean, obviously I've got some postage stamps, which, I mean, not that one particularly, but I could bring in some blue ones. Let's just have a look. Maybe, oops, I thought these were blue, but this must be my green pot, so nope, because that looks quite out of balance, I think, with the picture here. Right, let's put that one back, and oh, I don't know now what else I could actually have here. Let me see whether I've got this tiny flower. So let's just peel this apart. Oh my gosh. It's just getting to that time of day where the sun's beginning to come through the window and, you know, just block my vision. Okay. So we could, I guess, have a little flower on there. Again, I'm just not feeling that. Okay, so when I was rummaging around for my flowers, I just spotted my little pearly trim. So I'm thinking I could have this across the top like that, and that just kind of finishes that off. I mean, it's quite a plain one. It's not, you know, it's not a highly decorated one, but I think it looks quite nice, just, you know, just as it is. So let's just, oops, pop this one down. Oh my gosh, my glue will be dry at this rate, so I need to get a bit of a move on. Okay, pop that one down there. Okie doke. Just found a little pearl there and thought, do I want that? But I don't think it really adds anything, anything much to that. So just put that in my little organizer tray. I do have another little fabric piece, which obviously I've tried previously, and I just wondered whether we could have that there. Let me just ink this up. I don't know. It feels like it needs something else to me, but I'm not feeling what that right thing is. Nothing's kind of springing to mind. And surprisingly, nothing's laying around on the desk that's kind of shouting to me that it's the right thing either. Which obviously that's unusual, because I do have everything, you name it, it's there on my desk. But nothing's actually, you know, jumping out, kind of saying it's the right thing. I've got a little button. Well, I guess we could have a little button on there. Oh, I don't know. Perhaps we'll have to leave this one. You know, sometimes you just, if you can't get something to come together, you just have to then kind of leave it. And then when you come back to it next time, you might find, you know, just a fresh pair of eyes, just then, you know, bring a complete different perspective to it. Just having a quick look one last time to see if there's anything else that's, you know, jumping out looking like it might just be the right thing. Not so far. No, not so far. Okay, I've got that other fabric piece, but again, I'm not loving that. Okay, so I'm not going to use the brown ribbon for this one because I don't think it, you know, quite kind of goes with this one. So let me just see what ribbon I think would look quite nice with this. Just going through my little ribbon box that's just behind me. I'm again thinking, okay, I've got some blue here, which this is very pale. Well, it's like a baby blue. But I'm thinking I could ink this up. Let me just cut that piece off. So, oh my gosh, what's happened to this? Oh, for some reason it has red dabbed all over it. So let's just take that piece out for a moment. Okay. Yeah, it's obviously been next to something else. And now got red all on it. Okay, right, let's just ink this ribbon up a little bit. And again on the other side. Because, I mean, obviously both sides are going to be sort of vaguely visible, aren't they? Okay. And we'll just then, again, thread that through. Oops. Like that. And then like that. Okay. So, and again, I'm just going to dab a little tiny bit of glue here just to hold that, you know, closed. Oops. Just to hold that shut like that. Okay. Like that. And oops, let me just peel that glue off because it's sort of got everywhere that time. Okay, so that's that one. I mean, could just do some zigzag stitching or something like that down the bottom to just finish that off, or add something else down there. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but definitely I feel like it needs something. Although I'm now kind of thinking maybe I could just get away with just a zigzag stitch or something. I mean, that's quite cute, isn't it? It just changed that bottom bit from being super boring to just quite cute there. And if I just ink this up, it will just give it a little bit more dimension. So like that. And again, just grunge it up a little bit more down the sides. There we go. Now that's just amazing because that has changed the look of this completely, just by literally cutting a bit of a zigzag bottom and inking around there. It's just altered that completely. So yeah, I actually now don't mind it looking without anything else, whereas I was kind of feeling it desperately needed something else stuck on there. But just that bit of inking and just that zigzag bottom, it's just kind of altered that completely, hasn't it? So these are the 4 that we did. Really super cute, aren't they? So I hope that you like them. They were obviously inspired by these ones here. And yeah, I hope you have fun if you decide to make some. They're such a super cute, you know, fast project. Well, they took me a long time, but you know, a fun project to do. And yeah, really, really like how they turned out. So I hope that you like them, and thank you so much for watching. Thanks then. Bye.